Okay, so let's cut through the noise for a second, because I see a lot of folks getting hung up on this democracy versus constitutional republic thing. And honestly, it's often a bit of a distraction from the real problem. Yes, there are technical differences. A democracy, at its simplest, is about majority rule, whether directly or through reps. A constitutional republic, like the good old US of A, adds a crucial layer, a written constitution. Think of it as a rulebook for the government itself, designed to keep power in check, protect the little guy, and make sure the majority doesn't just run roughshod over everyone else. It's why we have things like checks and balances, right? To stop one branch, or even the popular mood of the moment, from becoming too powerful. And yeah, most people use democracy and republic interchangeably in daily chat. And honestly, for good reason. They both hinge on things we actually care about: free elections, basic rights, and a government that's actually accountable to us. The differences between them? Pretty narrow in the grand scheme of things, especially compared to what's on the other side of the fence. Because here's where the rubber meets the road. The chasm between a constitutional republic and, say, authoritarianism? That's not just a narrow gap. That's the Grand Canyon, folks. In a republic, accountability, individual rights, the rule of law. These aren't suggestions. They're the absolute bedrock, protected by courts that are supposed to be independent, and a constitution that's supposed to mean something. Now, what about authoritarianism? Well, that's where power is hoarded by one person or a tiny group. The rule of law is a punchline. Dissent gets you silenced or worse. And your rights? Please. They exist only at the whim of whoever's in charge. It's the antithesis of everything we just talked about. It's opaqueness instead of transparency, suppression instead of participation, and absolute power instead of careful constraints. So while we can debate the finer points of democracy versus constitutional republic, which again, are both about popular consent and individual liberty, let's not lose sight of the actual existential threat. Because authoritarianism? That's not just a different flavor of governance. It's a direct assault on the very principles of freedom and self-determination. And anyone trying to muddy those waters probably has an agenda.